is something either must have been bent in the wire or the cord wasn't plugged in all the way or something, because I went and tested the mic afterwards and it works and it's fine. I even tested it 2 seconds ago before I started filming this video, so it's fine. So everything happens for a reason. This one is just gonna obviously be better, and one of the ways that it's going to be better is because I decided to do it old school soft ASMR and drink a beverage with you while we talk. If you are new to my channel or somewhat new, years ago I used to make this was like a drinking series, so every time I made one of these what I've been watching videos, I have a whole playlist of them on my channel if you want to check it out. I've been doing it for years. I always had wine or a beer with me when I did these videos, and it was really fun. I was younger back then, so like alcohol doesn't like me too much as I get older, but back then it was fun for me. So today, instead of a beer or instead of wine, I'm gonna have a poppy. These are prebiotic sodas. They're supposed to be better for, well, it's supposed to be better than soda because it has less sugar, and it's supposed to just be better on your stomach and on your body. It has apple cider vinegar in it. Apple cider vinegar in it. I am not a soda drinker at all, but I do like these. They're not as fizzy, which is the main reason why I don't like soda. And they taste really good. My favorite flavor is the watermelon one, but they did not have it, so we're having the strawberry lemon, which I believe is one of the most popular flavors. And I have my wine glass here, so let's see how I can do this the most quiet. Luna's also sleeping literally right next to me, and I know this is gonna wake her up, but let's open her up. Good morning. Hopefully she goes back to sleep. Okay. There's still a little bit more in here. It's a really gross color. Don't mind that. Okay, I'm just gonna drink what's left in here. It is really good. Okay, so I do have a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things to talk about today. I feel like I used to have lists that were longer, but life has just been busy and I haven't necessarily had too much time to watch things, I guess, like I used to, or I don't know, it's just been a busy season of life, so my list is a little bit shorter, but that's okay. So let's start off strong with something that probably most of you have watched as well, and that is the second season of Squid Games. I did watch the first season right when it came out, so that was 3, maybe almost 4 years ago, I think. It's been a long time. If you are unfamiliar, also disclaimer, I'm drinking bubbles, guys, so I can't be held accountable for any sounds in my throat that you hear. Just being real with you. So, if you are unfamiliar, Squid Games is it's a show based on a game show. It takes place in South Korea, and it basically, this like recruiter for this game show goes after people that are in debt, that are struggling in life, and they go, hey, come on this game show, you could win a lot of money. I'm giving you the bare Cliff Notes version, and I don't want to necessarily spoil it for you, although I'm sure most of you know what the game entails, but just in case you don't and you want to watch it, I won't give you every detail. But they go on this show, and basically when you lose these games, you have to play a series of games, and there's like 400 plus players you play against each other, and every time you lose a season. My one thing was, does anybody know why there was so much time in between seasons? Because there was so much. Maybe it's just me and my brain, maybe I'm the problem. There was so much I didn't remember from the first season. I've watched a lot of shows since then. There was so much I didn't remember, and yes, I watched the recap, but I think that the recap was also missing some really key points, and luckily I watched it with my boyfriend that has a better memory than me, apparently, and anything that I didn't remember, he kind of was able to remind me, but there were a couple parts that I was confused, but they definitely left it wide open for more. That's all I'll say. I really liked the characters in this season more than the first season. Not that the first season was bad. Again, maybe I just don't really fully remember, but I really liked the characters, like the older woman where she's there with her son, love her. The pregnant young girl. I wish I knew their names. I'm bad with the names, especially because they're hard for me to pronounce, but I thought the twist in the season was really good. So again, if you're okay with violence, I would recommend it. I think it's a good watch, and I'm very excited to see what they do with the next season. The second season was a lot shorter than the first season, I think. Maybe not a lot shorter, but by a couple episodes, and so I thought that there was some missing, like I thought there was more coming, but they're saying that the third season is going to come in 2025, so I'm assuming that that's going to be it for the second season, I think, and then season 3 will come sooner than we think. Thank God, because I couldn't take another 4 years in between seasons. I'll be a whole other person in 4 years, so that is the second season of the Squid Games. All in all, I enjoyed it. Okay, the next one is a movie on Netflix. Now, it's a Christmas movie, okay? But if you're a psycho like me and you still have your Christmas decor up, I usually keep them up for like the first 2 weeks of January. I also haven't had time to really take them down. It also just makes me happy, so that's why it's still up. But anyway, if you're like me, just turn on the Christmas tree and watch a Christmas movie. I watch Elf like in July, so it's not weird to me. Anyway, it's called Red One. It's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's new movie on Netflix, and this was actually recommended to me by my dad. I think my dad and my sister watched it, if I'm not mistaken, and they said that it was so good. So The Rock essentially plays Santa Claus's like bodyguard, right-hand man, not really assistant, but like security detail. Like, The Rock is a unit, as we know. He is a gigantic man, so that's believable. And I have to agree with my dad. I mean, this movie was really well done. Do I think it's gonna be a Christmas movie that is watched every year like Elf and The Grinch and all those classics? Probably not, but I'm glad I watched it. The writing was so good. Essentially, I'm not gonna spoil it for you because this happens right in the beginning. Basically, the premise is Santa Claus gets kidnapped. The people that are kidnapping him are trying to use his powers for evil, and so The Rock, along with a bunch of other members of the security detail, spend the whole movie trying to uncover where he went and to save him. And the mom from Cheaper by the Dozen plays Mrs. Claus, and she looks so much older, and I just love her. I think her name is Bonnie Hunt. I could have just pulled that out of nowhere, but I think that's her name. It was really well done. The writing was so good. The creativity was so good when you're making a Christmas movie with mystical, magical elements. You have to get creative, and just everything down to like at the end when Santa's giving out presents and doing his thing, the way that they wrote it and designed it visually, it just all made so much sense. And like, I remember watching it and I like verbally was like, wow, that's really creative, like that was really well done. That makes a lot of sense. Like, almost if like, hopefully there are no youngins watching this, almost like if that was really what happened Christmas night and like Santa's all, you know, going around and delivering presents, like that's probably how it would go, you know. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It was just really good. It had a good amount of action. It was sweet. Again, I just loved rock, so that is called Red One. They call Santa Claus Red, so Red One is the name of the movie. It's on Netflix. I would recommend it if you've never seen it. Again, do I think it's gonna be like a must watch all the time? No, I probably wouldn't watch it again, but it was really good, and I really give The Rock a lot of credit for the way that he commits to all these roles. Like, it's from going from where he started and being like big and bad and whatever, to now doing these kinds of movies like The Tooth Fairy and all the movies that he's done like this. Like, I really give him credit for that because he's really good. Okay, the next one I've talked about before, but I don't know if I went into like detail about the show. So I am rewatching Reba. I'm realizing that I do kind of have a thing for sitcoms. So if you don't know, Reba is a sitcom with the star Reba McEntire. This used to air, I think, on CMT. And Reba is an actress, obviously, but she is also a country singer. And she doesn't play herself, she just plays a character with the same name. And so the premise essentially is, and this again is not a spoiler, this is how it starts, her husband and her get a divorce because he has an affair, but he ends up marrying the woman that he had an affair with, and they end up having a baby. But the woman that he has an affair with, her name is Barbara Jean. She is one of the best parts of the show, in my opinion, and she loves Reba. Like, she is obsessed with her. She wants to be friends with her. She like, and it's the dynamic is so funny. And then very quickly they end up like living right next door. They buy a house right next door across the street from Reba, and so they essentially become one big broken but not broken family with a lot of chaos. Okay, I sincerely apologize. I'm gonna have to film the rest of this video on my phone. I think there's something wrong with my memory card, and I want to finish this video. Somewhere, someone does not want me to get this video done. I'm gonna get it done. Anyway, like I was saying, they have 3 kids, and the oldest kid, she gets pregnant her senior year of high school. So then she marries her husband, or she marries her boyfriend. He becomes her husband. He moves in with them as well, so he becomes like another one of Reba's kids, and it's just so much chaos. And him, the husband, Van, and Barbara Jean make the show for me. I mean, I literally sit there and audibly laugh by myself because I think this show is so funny. There are so many, it's a relatively older show, so there are so many jokes in there that would never fly today in a show being made. But I don't know, just because I was raised with it, it doesn't, like, it's nothing bad, but, you know, I think it's hysterical. My mom and I used to watch it together, so I feel like it's just a nostalgic thing for me. It's just fantastic. So if you are a sitcom person and you want a laugh, I mean, I've watched episodes on my break at work, and like my coworkers will come and like walk by and they'll like chuckle at things even though they don't really know what's going on, but just, it's just so funny. It's so funny, but also it's about a family, so it has its tender moments as well. So it's got a little bit of everything. I love it. I think there's 8 seasons and I am on season 4. So it's so good. So latest season of The Ultimatum. I have introduced my boyfriend to the world of Netflix reality dating shows, and I had him watch one episode of Love is Blind when we had just first started dating, and he looked at me and was like, "This is amazing." So, if you've never watched, Netflix reality dating shows are terrible, but they're so good that you really can't look away. My days of watching The Bachelor and The Bachelorette have come and gone. Watching The Bachelor actually kind of triggers me a little bit. I don't know, there's something about 30 women fighting over one man, and also vice versa with The Bachelorette, that it just doesn't do it for me. But The Ultimatum is not much better. But here's the premise. Ready? In case you're unfamiliar. Oh, cat hair. That's cute. In case you're unfamiliar, a bunch of couples go on this dating show, and essentially they've been together for X amount of years. One is ready to get married, the other one is not ready to get married, and so the one that is ready issues the other one an ultimatum. So basically you go on this show, and it's kind of like, either we walk away together at the end of the show, or I break up with you. That's the ultimatum. Bless you. Bless you. That's my neighbor sneezing. Sorry. So, let's paint the picture, right? Say this was way down the line, 5 years from now, and my boyfriend and I go on this show, let's just say, and I'm ready to get married and he's not. We would go on this show, break up with a bunch of other couples that have also just broken up, and then you all date each other. So you kind of date around a little bit, feel everybody out in front of your person, and you pick somebody else that you want to date, and then they usually pick you back, and that becomes your new relationship. So then, with the person you pick, you go and live with them and do a trial marriage for 3 weeks, and then at the end of that trial marriage, you share an apartment with them, like you share a life with them. Then at the end of those 3 weeks, you move back in with your original person and do another trial marriage with them, and then at the end, you pick whether you want to marry your original person, marry the new person, or walk away from the show single. I'm sorry, no one in a healthy relationship in their right mind would go on a show like that. I'm sorry. Am I wrong? Am I the problem? I don't think I am. I am convinced that the people that go on those shows want to become influencers, because millions and millions of people watch these shows. They all gain a following. They all get brand deals and do this, that, whatever. I think that's why people go on the show. I do, because then they become TikTokers and Instagrammers, and they get brand deals, and then they get to quit their jobs. And like, I get it, get your bag, do you, but like, I don't know, I just don't trust any of it to be 100% accurate. But it's good TV. It's like a train wreck that you just can't look away. Everyone on this season needs therapy. Everyone. Well, I think everyone in the world needs therapy, but that's a different story. Everyone on this season needed therapy. Every single one of them. Only one couple walked out. A couple. And ended up engaged. I'm sorry, I guess you don't have to get married. You have to get engaged at the end. And even them, I don't think have a healthy relationship. If you know, you know. If you watched it, you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Mariah and Caleb. The other ones, JR made my skin crawl. Like, genuinely made my skin crawl. He made me angry. A couple people on the season really made me angry. And it really just makes you so thankful for the relationship that you have. Because you're like, wow, I'm so glad this isn't my dating life that I'm watching. So, if you want to feel better about, like, yourself, that sounds horrible. You know what I mean? I don't know. Talking about these shows makes me a little unhinged. I don't know. So, I only watched The Ultimatum and Love is Blind on Netflix. I really want to watch the UK version of Love is Blind. Blind because I hear it's better. So gonna have to look into that. I know there was one where you went on the dating show with like your sibling. I didn't watch that one. That's a lot even for me. I'm good. And I don't think that one even did well because I think there's only one season. So, okay, moving on. The next one is a movie, and it's a classic one that I always heard people talk about, and I never watched it for myself. 𝓢𝓸𝓬𝓲𝓪. I finally watched it this year. It's with Jack Black, Kate Winslet, Cameron Diaz, and I forget the other guy's name that plays Kate Winslet's brother. But anyway, it's essentially two women that live on opposite ends of the world. So one is in the United States, one is in England, I believe. And they're both very unhappy with their lives. They're both single. It's the holidays. They want an escape, so they meet on this website, Sketchy, and they essentially switch lives. So they go live at each other's houses on their respective countries, or in their respective countries, and make friends with now the people that they live around. And of course there are love interests involved, and it is a really sweet movie. I can see why people like it. I can see why people watch it every year. It's not the most Christmassy of movies. It just takes place during the holidays, and it's relatively, it's not old, but it was released a decent amount of time ago. Oh, the bubbles are getting me, sorry. I will say, it is so weird to watch Jack Black in a serious role, because I grew up with him in like School of Rock, and like that is the Jack Black that I was raised on. So to see him in a serious role where he plays a romantic interest, I kind of was like, God forgive me, I was like, oh, I don't know if I like that, especially with the person that he was paired with. I don't know, it's just me, that's just me. But the story was really good, and I really enjoyed it. It was cute. It's a nice, cozy watch. So if you're looking for something like that, again, doesn't have to be Christmas, I think you would enjoy it. Okay, the next one. Now, I am not an anime person. I never have been. I have cousins that are into anime. My sister is into anime. I have a lot of friends at work that are into anime. It's just never been my thing. I have watched like 2 other animes with my sister, I think, over the years. Wow, my neighbor's being really loud. I'm sorry. But I just never got into it. My sister also reads like the manga. I have coworkers that read it as well. Just never been my thing. But I have a coworker who really wanted to get me to watch an anime, and he was like, I'm gonna throw you off into the deep end, and you're just really like, there's no introductory nonsense. You're gonna dive in head first. And so we watched a couple episodes like during our dinner break at work of 𝓢𝓸𝓬𝓲𝓪, right? That's how you say it. Essentially, and please hear me when I say I am not making fun at all. I actually spoke to my sister about this, and she was laughing at the way that I was laughing at it. I have not finished the whole thing yet, but essentially, it is about a boy and a girl, and one believes in ghosts, one believes in aliens, and they're essentially trying to like convince each other that that ghosts and aliens exist. And then the boy encounters an old lady ghost, and she essentially steals his family jewels. And so the show is about him like getting it back, but then he gets it back, but only part of it. It's really something. And my coworker that I'm watching it with, he's not an older gentleman, he's a little bit older than me. It's like, I think he's 40. Love him dearly, I've worked with him for years. He loves it, and he's so excited, and so, we'll watch it together, and he'll sit with me, and he'll go, so, what do you think? And I'm always like, it's something. It's just not my thing, but I will say I am enjoying watching it with him, and I enjoy watching how much he likes it. something that multiple people in my life have watched and have enjoyed, if that makes sense. So we haven't finished it. I think we have 3 episodes left, and they're like 20 minutes, 19 minutes. It's super quick watch. So we'll probably finish it at some point this week, and I am excited to finish it. Genuinely, I want to know how it ends. And I was telling my boyfriend a little bit about it too, and he was like, "Wow, keep me updated. I want to know how this ends." So, yeah, it's been interesting, but it's really opened my eyes to a lot. I just feel like I'm on a lot of drugs when I watch it, you know. And if you've ever watched it, you probably understand what I mean. But it's really opening my eyes to the world of anime. And last but not least, I am still watching Once Upon a Time. Very slowly. I am on season 4. So I am making my way through the Frozen episodes, and so basically Once Upon a Time it aired on ABC years ago. I think there are 8 or 9 seasons. It is a story about fairy tale creatures and like Disney characters, Disney princesses set in the real world. So like Snow White, Prince Charming, Cinderella, Rumpelstiltskin, Little Red Riding Hood, all those fictional creatures that we all grew up with. And now they're incorporating like Frozen. There was a Peter Pan storyline, and it's really good. But people have warned me that around mid show, so I'm about halfway through, is when it really starts to slow down and kind of drag, and I see why people are saying that. There are certain points where I kind of want to like shake the characters and be like, what are you doing? Or like they stand around and talk so much because there's always a problem, there's always something that they need to solve, and they just stand around and talk, and I'm like, just do something, you know? So it's one of those, but I'm still enjoying it. I wouldn't be watching it if I didn't enjoy it. But I am ready for the Frozen storyline to be over. I'm ready to move into the next story. But I'm enjoying it, and Regina, character development, she's the evil witch from Snow White, but her name is Regina in the show. Oh, my light died. That's okay, I'm almost done this video. I'm telling you, somebody does not want me to finish this video. I'm almost done. This is the last thing on my list. Regina became my absolute favorite character. The character development, at least so far, I really enjoy her. Captain Hook, Captain Guyliner, I do like him, he makes me chuckle. Emma, can take it or leave it. Henry, love him, he's growing to such a cute little boy. I like Grumpy. This is one of the 7 dwarves, Grumpy.